What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? This is Coach D. Durrell Spears. Happy to be here once again. Looking forward to having a discussion on this topic of one Derrick Jaxn, one very polarizing, very what I would say, very one of the most um, um, fake, and I'm putting the emphasis on fake. One of the most the fake, one of the most fake and deceptive um, YouTube personalities that you will ever find in these spaces. And I've done Derrick Jaxn videos before on my D Durrell Life Solutions channel. And because I was talking about the issues of him and his infidelity and being married and where he's at. So because this is a dating show and this is a dating coach, I think it would be appropriate for me to talk about one Derrick Jaxn and where he's at in his life. And we have to look at how come Derrick's marriage did not work. I think it would be appropriate to understand that the reason why Derrick's marriage didn't work is because Derrick didn't want the marriage to work. Derrick didn't want the marriage to work because Derrick wanted to do what he wanted to do, when he wanted to do it, how he wanted to do it. Derrick had a lack of respect for his wife. Derrick drug his wife into this YouTube social media stuff, which she was not ready for. She never came across as being really comfortable with it, even on the podcast and different things. And Derrick Jaxn is going to be who Derrick Jaxn is. And that's a person who probably didn't have the success with women that he has now due to his success. But see, the problem with people who think about who are like Derrick Jaxn, even though they're taking advantage of all the women and the attention that they're getting, what Derrick Jaxn fails to understand is that the people that he is attracting and the women, they are looking at an image. They're looking at what you personify on social media. They're not they don't know Derrick Jaxn the person, nor are they really give a damn. And you were married to a woman who actually grew to love you, had children for you, and she knows Derrick Jaxn the person, not Derrick Jaxn the content creator, social media influencer. So what Derrick Jaxn did was that he sacrificed long-term relationship family for short-term sex and gratification from women that he could not get when he was younger, before YouTube. And yes, I know that a lot of women think Derrick Jaxn has big muscles, he's attractive, and they think that, but Derrick Jaxn was not always seen in that manner. And that's the difference. So, one would pose the question, D. Durrell, how would you coach Derrick Jaxn? Very simple, because I have provided services for people like Derrick Jaxn for years. This is not something uh, beyond my scope of expertise by any stretch of the imagination. Um, for Derrick Jaxn, it would be important for him to learn how to departmentalize his social media privileges and the that he gets from other women, how he's perceived and treated, all his notoriety versus his real life. Derrick Jaxn has to come to terms for himself because Derrick Jaxn has made a lot of mistakes um, and things in his marriage, and he's not getting better. And I think he made a decision that, hey, I just want to be with other women. I don't want to be with you anymore. Now, I must say, and I'm going to say this, that this is not any sense of making an excuse for him, but his wife perceives as a woman who is not very affectionate. She perceives as someone who is ultra religious and probably not the easiest person to get along with. And I'm not saying that that's an excuse to do what he was doing, but those things do influence how you function. I think that as Derrick became more popular, the relationship probably became worse. I think as Derrick gained more money, she enjoyed the money, but she didn't enjoy what came along with him making that money. And Derrick Jaxn wanted to be with more attractive women. His wife is not, his ex-wife is not a bad looking woman, but his ex-wife doesn't look as good as the other women that he's dealing with, and that's just the reality. It's just the reality. But I would coach Derrick Jaxn first to take a step back on his sexual behavior and the triggers of why he cannot practice proper dick discipline when dealing with these women, because there's a laundry list of women. It's almost as if Derrick Jaxn doesn't understand when to say no and assess that, you can't sleep with everybody. And at his age, he should show better discernment instead of jumping into bed with any woman. I don't care how good she looked. And the risk factors, the situations of potentially bringing women to your home, and you had a place that you were renting to do all kinds of things, just reckless behavior. And he never practiced anything he preached. Matter of fact, I really think that Derrick Jaxn continued to do these videos, not just for the money, but for the female attention outside of his wife. And so, as if I was to coach Derrick Jaxn, really dating coach, but really therapist, who's coaching Derrick Jaxn, we would have to look full scale at his whole life and his history of dating and the overall development, the systematic development of who he became over time. I think Derrick Jaxn got lost in his YouTube persona. He has an inflated sense of self based on his success. That's really not real, because people are not looking at him as Derrick Jaxn, the person. They're looking at him as Derrick Jaxn, the content creator. And so Derrick Jaxn basically influenced the lives of several people other than themselves. Not only his wife, but his children. Lives will never be the same because you choose to give other people more attention than the people in your home. And so I would instruct, prompt, assist him with reflecting, undergo what's called cognitive restructuring of thoughts and statements to help him understand that his thought process that had led him to do what he's doing, you know, is the reason why he's in the position he's in now. And if he wants to change, because I'm going to say this, you can't go around horning around YouTube forever. And on social media, it comes a time and a place where you're going to slow your ass down, and you're going to figure out how expensive this is and how worthless the interactions are over time. Short-term gratification for long-term problems. That's what you traded off, Derrick Jaxn. So you have to come to terms with yourself, and don't give us, and this is something I see too with the religious cover-up. See, he understands that there's a large percentage of African American women who really think that Jesus is a replacement for a man. Unfortunately. And he preyed upon these women who go to church religiously, consistently, hoping to find and praying instead of doing the work. God is not going to give you a man. God is going to put you in a position to be attracted to men, but he can't give you anything. You have to do the work if you want a man. He's already given you the gifts and the the blessings of what it takes to get a man. It's up to you to put the work in and work on yourself. See, there's a lot of women who attend those programs that don't want to do the real work. They want someone to tell them what they should be doing and how they should do it instead of putting in the practical work. Derrick Jaxn has given these women an inflated sense of self in regards to what they deserve out of a man. And we have to understand every man is not willing to give every woman the same type of treatment. And if you don't fit within the confines of what that man is attracted to and wants to be with, he's not going to treat you the way you feel you're supposed to be treated. Now, every man has different tastes. Okay. There's different strokes for different folks. However, Derrick, you basically misled these women to thinking that they can get something that they probably will never obtain and never get because they're not putting in the work. You see, your content assume that these women don't need any level of self-improvement and self-development. You never told these women that sometimes men act like this because you have a bad attitude. Sometimes men act like this because maybe they just don't find you attractive. Maybe you're too aggressive. Maybe you're disrespectful. Maybe that's some of your failures are because of you. Tell the truth instead of stating the problem is not you, it's just a man that you're the prize and the man is just supposed to do all these above and beyond things for you, which nothing is wrong with a man that values a woman he wants to be. You never told these women they have to take responsibility of some of the relationships that they screwed up and the guy was perfect for them. See, these are the things that Derrick needs to understand. See, Derrick's content is subconsciously representative of the type of women that he preyed upon. See, he preyed upon women with low self-esteem, women who looked a certain way, regardless of whether they were a 10 to a 7, an 8, whatever he was dealing with, or below. He was dealing with women with a certain mindset. These women were with him not because of him, Derrick Jaxn, the person. They were with Derrick Jaxn, the content influencer, the social media presence. Your wife had to deal with the real Negro named Derrick Jaxn when she got home, dealing with you and the kids and the environment. See, this is what happened in a ongoing intervention between Derrick Jaxn and Coach D. Durrell Spears, who's a real fucking therapist. There's a difference. Now, if Derrick Jaxn, and I said this before, Derrick Jaxn, I knew that the relationship was not going to work when Derrick stated that him and his wife were going through dating coaching with somebody else, or relationship or marriage coaching. And I'm like, wait a minute, Derrick, why are you seeing a unqualified marriage coach, untrained, don't know what the hell they're talking about, instead of seeking a real therapist like myself or a licensed LMFT or a psychologist who specializes in relationships, social worker who specializes in relationships, any professional counselor? When he stated he was he was allegedly seeing a marriage coach, I knew that this was not going to work. Now, I'm going to be honest. I didn't think it was going to happen this soon. I actually thought that they were going to work this out and it was going to gradually get better. But sooner or later, Derrick was going to fuck up. And he did. I thought it was going to probably last maybe a few more years. But I knew when he stated that, Derrick Jaxn did not want to go to real therapy because Derrick Jaxn would have been held accountable for his bad behavior, whether it was a male therapist or a female therapist. He did not want to hear an objective standpoint from someone who's truly trained in mending and improving relationships. You see, he understands that the BS that he was saying, he would have had to come to terms with that in a therapeutic environment, because his content influenced his relationship with his wife, his wife's response to what he was doing, and everything that came out of that. So I want to thank you all for being here today. I want to thank you again. This is Coach D. Darrell Spears. I just wanted to talk about this issue of Derrick Jaxn and why he's in the position he's in now. I'm not going to even get into the side chick stuff, and because to me that's irrelevant. I'm more focused on the relationship, because the side chick stuff with him and the lady going back at each other is only a product of his decision making, which was poor. So this is Coach D. Darrell Spears. You all have a great day. Peace.